from Miami Beach. Oh wait, no. Just kidding. Hell yeah.
Look,
Welcome
dude,
back,
UFOs
David.
in Miami.
What's good, man?
Doing good. This is like the first time we talked in probably like a week.
True.
Me and Caleb only socialize on the podcast.
True. It's the way to keep things
Yeah.
fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Then we'll say that we'll have conversations and we spoil it.
Exactly.
These conversations are live.
It's the first time we've discussed these very hot button topics with you.
Yeah, for real. But before we get into that, dude, like, what have you been doing over the week? I know your girlfriend's been dying.
So my girlfriend basically was dying of kidney disease and her kidneys were rotting. But then she got medicine and now she's all better. So we're doing great.
Let's go.
I'm currently on the end of a challenge right now, and actually the challenge is going to come to an end. I'm happy to announce during this podcast. The challenge was that I was supposed to not play video games for 48 hours, and as of 20 minutes from now, I will be successful. So,
congratulations! I feel like that's not a hard thing. I feel you don't.
No, I know that was my whole point. My girlfriend's like, "You can't do it. There's no way you can do it. You play video games all the time." I was literally in a video game. I alt F4. I was like, "All right, let's go. Let's talk about it right now. Let's talk about what the rules are."
Game.
Yeah.
Alt F4. Fuck.
I was like, "You have no idea how easy it would be for me." So I did it.
Congratulations, man.
Oh yeah.
What'd you win?
Well, I don't win anything. That's the thing. It's just bragging rights. This is the struggle of a modern day fucking white nerd, having to prove myself. You know what I mean?
You're a fucking legend. You're a king.
And I've also got some other stuff in the works, but I don't want to talk about it yet. So I'm just gonna that's it. That's the little teaser that you get. Top secret stuff that's coming out, and all I gotta say about it is follow us on Twitter and watch us on YouTube.
Yes, and before we get into the deep of it, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, rate us on Apple Podcast, sub to our OnlyFans, sub to our Patreon. Yes. What are you waiting for?
And I'm gonna be live on Chatterbait soon. I haven't come up with a username yet though, so I'll get that out to you on Twitter. That's why you gotta follow us on Twitter.
Yes, dude, fucking support your male, adult performers.
Yes, sex workers are comrades too.
Yeah,
never
nothing
forget
the style of Bussy coming soon.
Yep.
But fuck, dude, let's talk about fucking politics, baby. I fucking love it. It makes me depressed every goddamn day.
It's been a big week. It's been a big week for politics. Lots of politicking going on out here.
I mean, fucking all these protests and riots and whatnot, dude. More changes happened, over these months than in the last couple of years.
Indeed, yeah, 100% agree. And what better news to start with than our big wet president?
Oh yes, the great white hope.
The great white hope. Indeed. I've heard that he's been very upset about a specific piece of media. David, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
He's been trying to shut down this Bolton book, and I know you have some stuff that some of the claims that are in this book.
Yeah.
I want to talk about them.
Yeah, so originally Trump, he was really trying to get the book completely shut down, basically claiming, it's literally classified information that he's releasing. And then, of course, the book came out, and we all realized collectively that it was just because the book was very critical of Donald Trump and sort of, points out some of the eccentricities, I think that's the word, of this man. So I want to go over some of the top 10 claims that the book made. This is from the BBC, so
Watch
Mojo,
it's great top 10 claims.
Yeah, exactly.
WatchMojo.com.
So the first claim that's actually pretty bad is Trump wanted China to help him win re-election, which obviously we knew. Yeah. He wants everyone to help him win. But then the second thing he said was building internment camps for Muslims probably was the right thing to do, which is a pretty fucked up thing to say, I have to say. But the funniest part
we talked about that a while ago. That was one of
one of our first episodes was over this topic. Back when the world was a simpler place and all we had to do was maul about China. Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
And so he supported that basically and said that was a great idea, which is pretty bad considering his stance on Muslims everywhere else in the world. And there's some other bullshit claims that I won't go over, but I wanted to talk about two of the funniest ones. the funniest ones.
Yeah.
This man is the president of the United States, and he was quoted as saying, "Oh, do you guys have nuclear power?" to the United Kingdom, which Mr. Bolton remarks was not intended as a joke. In other words, the president of the United States did not know that the United Kingdom
You guys got
had
nukes?
nuclear power. Exactly. And he was also famously quoted as saying, Finland is kind of a satellite state of Russia, which of course it is not in any way whatsoever a part of Russia, which is really fucking hilarious. And he also was quoted as saying, invading Venezuela would be, quote, kind of cool.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
No, I'm serious.
Shut the fuck up right fucking now, dude.
Yeah,
That
saying
is
that the
fucking
South American
funny.
nation was actually a part of the United States in reality.
Wow. Honestly.
So, yeah.
Our president, baby.
Our president, mister.
The
And yeah,
smartest
so
man.
obviously that's why he wanted the book to be, prevented from coming out. It says a lot of stupid things about him. But the funniest thing is a lot of libs are kind of like, Bolton, hell yeah, Bolton, like, give it to the man. Even though Bolton specifically denied, like, going before any representative body and talking about what the president has done in an official way, and instead decided to publish a book and
Yeah,
make
because he wanted to
money
capitalize off of it.
Exactly. So of course he's a
like,
grifter, just like the rest
why
of
would
them.
I say this shit for free when I get paid to say this shit?
Yeah, why would I say it under oath when I can write it in my best-selling
And
novel?
write it in my fucking diary.
Hell yeah. But
I
that
mean,
was probably
that's
the
capitalism,
funniest thing.
I mean,
Not
that's
knowing
funny as
where
fuck,
fucking
dude.
Finland is.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
I mean,
dude, honestly,
it's,
like every single passing day, David, I realize how much easier our lives would be if we were just right-wing grifters. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
fucking scam artists. Because you have to know that these people don't believe in anything they're doing. They can't be that stupid. They have to know how stupid it is.
I think about this, like, you don't know how much I think about this on a daily basis, on how, like how you could be, like, a capitalist, like, conservative. Like, you just have to be, like, the worst person ever, essentially.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. You just LARP as, like, okay, what would I do right now if I was the worst person that I know? And then just do that, and they'll get a fucking show on Fox or something. It's so easy, man. Hell yeah.
Real, man. I mean, I'm already on my path there. I purchased some stocks the other day, a couple days ago.
Oh, hell yeah.
Of course, Chinese 10-cent stocks.
Yeah, the safest stocks.
Yeah. Some of our friends are kind of upset that I bought some 10-cent stocks, saying that I'm a hypocrite, but, fuck, bro. I'm just.
Well, soon every stock will be a Chinese stock.
Yeah,
so,
for real.
better to get out ahead of the curve.
On the boat early, man.
Yeah, I heard that you were ahead of the curve on something else too, which is fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
David has been on this shit, dude. Okay, he came in Discord one day, just on a soapbox, bro. Literally talking about how in the future there's going to be no actors. They're just going to create fucking AI actors and train them on how to act in movies. And I was like, oh, I mean, okay, that's kind of weird, but why not just have an actor? He's like, because then you could just fucking train them and you just film the AI robot doing the acting. And we talked about all the ways.
Then you have to know, it reduces, like, reshoot cost, because it's gonna be perfect the first time.
Yeah, and of course we're all like, that's kind of
genius engineer on that shit.
You're basically looking at a simple problem of actors kind of suck at acting and solving it by creating life itself, which is a very interesting engineering decision. And then David, within 24 hours, a fucking article gets posted about how AI actors are the new thing of the generation. So David is glowing right now. I don't know if you guys can tell.
I am fucking.
He's very happy with himself.
It's so fucking funny, dude. Because, like, we've had there's, like, times where I just, like, come in and say, like, the most random shit, and then, like, it happens.
Most asinine, stupid ass thing, and then CNN will release some op-ed article about how, like, farm towers cure anal cancer or something.
Yeah, for real.
And of course, David was just on about fucking.
I feel like people are just waiting for my next, prophecy.
Yeah, he's never been wrong before. It's incredible.
It's 100%
except for all those other times.
100% right, when I'm right. Fuck.
Yeah, he would definitely like to think so.
Fuck, dude. But let's take it international now. Dude, I want to talk about the India-Chinese border dispute. Have you heard anything about this?
I vaguely heard about it, but I didn't really keep up with it.
So from what I've looked into is that I think around 24 Indian soldiers were actually killed in this Indian-Chinese border dispute.
Oh shit. Okay,
Yeah,
so it's
and
pretty serious.
yeah, I've been talking to some people, like getting their opinions about it, and like they are they're kind of scared that this might escalate into something, like into like an actual problem for them.
Like a small scale conflict between
Yeah,
China and India.
yeah. And there's like they're boycotting like Chinese products, and I know some people are. I'm not gonna say all of India. I know some people were boycotting Chinese products, burning shit down, like burning like Chinese images and shit like that.
Damn.
And
I
I
mean, yeah,
think
that's insane.
God, like, could you see, like something like fucking World War III come out of this shit?
No, not really. Um, but but have they like released why it happened? Like, why did they just randomly start shooting each other, or what happened? I don't
Um,
understand.
it's just like it's just like the fucking borders are fucking fake, right? And it's just like
Yeah.
maybe like the Indian soldiers were too like far up like on their supposed border, I guess. And like they just like all right, they weren't even shot. I think they were beaten with sticks and shit.
Oh my god. Okay,
Like
that's
they had
worse.
like they were fighting each other with like sticks and shit. I'm pretty sure.
Holy shit.
I
Okay,
mean,
well, that's pretty bad.
I can't believe like yeah. I mean, I
I
don't
mean,
do.
I
I just
don't
think
think
about like if
that.
the U.S. like lost 20 soldiers to like China,
Yeah,
dude,
to like
we
Mexico.
we'd be like sending soldiers down. We'd send the
Yeah,
tanks. The
it would be
fucking we start
like bad.
bombing. They're like, all right, do we bomb fucking Mexico or what?
Yeah, true, true, true. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not very. I'll be honest, but this is rare. But I'm not very knowledgeable about something, and I don't know much about India. Like, I don't know how their people feel about like, like if a soldier died in America,
Yeah,
it would be easy to start a war over it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because people would just instantly be like, hell yeah! Like even liberals are like ready to go to war over American soldiers dying.
yeah,
But like in India, is it the same? I have no idea. Like,
yeah. Me
would
neither.
they be willing to go to war over something that small and trivial? Especially when it's like honestly, like when it comes down to it, it's the dumbest fucking thing. They're fighting over an imaginary made up fucking border
I mean, I
line.
know we fucking done less, for shit like that.
Oh
Maybe
yeah, for
even like
sure.
lied about fucking like shit happening.
I mean, we killed a million Iraqis because two of our big buildings got knocked down. Not saying that 9/11 wasn't bad, but I'm just saying like we killed a million innocent people in response to that. So I mean, like if we're willing to do that, what is
I mean,
India willing to do in response for 20 of their soldiers dying? Who knows?
who knows? Hopefully, I'll look
Hopefully
more
nothing.
into it. Yeah, hopefully nothing, but I'll be
Yeah.
looking more into that. See if anything happens.
It
Talk
does
about it.
scare me though, like with all these big countries with fucking nuclear weapons just like throwing their weight at each other. Like
Right.
because I don't know, because that makes me think that there can never be another large scale conflict wherein a nuclear power is threatened with total domination. In other words, like any war that ever happens, it's always going to end and both states are going to be the same. Because like if China stands to lose like 80% of their, land or something
Mm.
like that to an invading nation, what incentive do they have not to use nuclear weapons, you
Yeah, I
know?
mean, yeah, I
What I
mean, I
mean?
think that's the scare everyone has. Like,
Yeah.
what is stopping like China or just like any country with nuclear capabilities? Like, if they think they're about to get fucked, like, why not? It's like, all right, fuck it, bro. I'm not gonna be
Exactly.
like the person who lost their country. All right.
Right. It's always going to be on the back of their mind as like as a last resort. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And as long
Launched the
as that's the
missiles.
case, like I don't think any large scale invasions or anything like that can happen because people know that that's possible and they don't want to even consider or allow the state of circumstances to exist where someone might use a nuclear
Yeah.
fucking weapon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But invading the UK is fine because they don't have any nuclear weapons.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Just like Trump said, man.
Yeah. Fuck. Genius. Dude, something's gonna come out where like no, Trump was actually right when he said that England actually isn't a nuclear power.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Very
always
for this
always
specific
some
reason.
shit. Oh fuck.
Five because he's
Yeah.
playing 5D chess, dude. He knows what he's doing. We had a
Uh,
Cheeto in the White House, man.
yeah, for
Mr.
real, man.
President, you're fired.
Hmm. Yeah, but yeah, fuck, dude. But in Seattle as well, Chaz.
Chaz.
Jazz, baby. Fucking,
Chaz.
the protesters are taking a stand. You know, they took those 6 blocks over.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, some more recent news. There was apparently 2 deaths in Chaz.
Right.
And,
Yeah, I heard that one of them was a racist, like hate crime against a black person, which is interesting. But I didn't hear about the second one. Did you know anything about that?
yeah, I think the person was like a 19-year-old dude, right? It's a young dude. But in response to this happening, though, Seattle is saying that they're gonna take Chaz back, and they want to do it peacefully, but I don't know how that's gonna like go down really, because we know
Right.
they're armed, and you know it seems like they're. I don't think they're gonna just
You
walk
you
away.
mean the government's armed or the Chaz inhabitants are
There's
armed?
I'm pretty sure that there's armed protesters, you know, walking around with the like ARs, and I'm sure
Right.
like I don't know like how willing they are to defend, you know, Chaz.
Well, let's talk about it. Like, what do you think about, like, do you think, well, first of all, like, let's talk about Chaz just in the beginning, like, when it formed. What did you
Mm.
think about it? Like, how did you feel
I thought
about
it
it?
was really fucking cool that they
Right.
like these people were able to control these 6 blocks, you know, and there was like a cop free zone, and like, you know, in the beginning, all, like you were seeing like posts from Twitter, and it just seemed like like a concert of some sort. I don't know, like there was just like people everywhere, you know,
Right.
fucking COVID still going around. That's scary. But you know, there's like people going around everywhere. People are like playing music and shit, and like people are just enjoying shit. You know, no money is like being used. And I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, bro. Like, what if
It's very
this is
surreal.
like the start of like this is like the new capital of like you know, of this like leftist movement.
Of the revolution, you
Yeah, the
know?
revolution. Yeah, for real. 6
Yeah.
blocks turns into like 10 blocks, and turns into like we take all of fucking Washington.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I felt exactly the same way. And like, I think a lot of like people kind of make fun of that mindset and be like, "Oh, you guys are fucking larpers, like you're just pretending to be revolutionaries." I mean, that's the thing is like, do you really think that the inhabitants of Chaz, like, do you think that they're in there like reading Marx and sucking and fucking each other because they're all scientific Marxists? Like, no, they're just regular ass
Yeah.
fucking people.
They're
And
just
like,
protesters. Yeah.
it may not be the case that they're doing everything like perfectly as I would do it or anything like that, but it's literally a spontaneous anarchist overthrow of a local government. Like,
Yeah.
it's exactly what we're
I mean, it's
talking
history.
about.
Yeah.
It is. It's history in the making, and it's so fucking surreal to see it happen in real life and like see like color
Yeah.
pictures of something that I associate with like the French Revolution. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro.
it's crazy to see it happen.
Feel like
And
I fucking died, and like I got responded to this like new fucking world where shit's popping
yeah,
off constantly.
yeah, exactly. And like, that's the thing is like, it's so interesting to me to see my ideology basically put into praxis by people who don't even share my ideology. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, these people don't have a political education. It kind of reinforces my idea that you know, socialism is kind of the natural state of things. And like, I don't know, events like this kind of make me like they help my ego a little bit. I'm not gonna
Definitely
lie.
give me a full chub.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
Full
it
chub.
makes me feel like what I'm saying kind of has some weight behind it. After all,
Mm.
you know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, I also recently contacted a local business near Chaz, and got a local's perspective on this situation in Chaz. So it was like a 3-minute, 4-minute long phone call. So if
So
that
yeah,
should
let's
be
listen
in
to
the
that right now.
podcast.
Bait shop.
Hey, this is David. Are you located in the Chaz Autonomous Zone?
Are we delivering there? Did you say?
No, are you like?
Oh no,
Is there-
we're the north end of Broadway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so like all that stuff is like south, I guess.
Yeah, it's like kind of it's in the Pike Pine corridor, specifically Pine.
How large is it? You know, sorry, if I waste your time.
The Chaz gathering?
Yeah.
That's like 3 blocks or so.
Okay. Yeah, I just heard some
Yeah.
shit like they're like extorting people down there, and like there's like a warlord down there.
Totally. So I've been working. Yeah, I mean, I work here at Bait Shop all the time.
Yeah.
But I've been down there, and it's not really that. It's more just like a gathering of people. I haven't seen anyone with any guns or anything, and like the warlord thing was just like some weird thing on the news.
Yeah. Do you think they're like just trying to like make it seem more violent than it actually is?
Yeah, it's more. I mean, honestly, it reminds me of kind of almost like Evergreen State College or something like that. It just seems like a lot of just like, young people hanging out, people giving speeches, people giving away a lot of free food. I mean, personally, the biggest thing about it that scares me is just there's a bunch of people who aren't wearing masks right now, which is kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
But it's a very peaceful thing, and I think it's also very different from like what the news is portraying.
Yeah,
So
they're trying to make it seem like there's this warlord in there and they're robbing people and
totally
fear mongering and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely no warlords as far as I can tell. If anything, I would say that area is as peaceful as it has been in months.
Yeah.
So that's my takeaway as a Capitol Hill resident and worker.
Yeah, just wondering. Yeah, because just from a podcast called Up in the South. It's a pretty small podcast. We're in we live in like the southern region. We're just like leftists, and like we're just like calling around in certain areas and seeing like how it actually is, because it's being portrayed very differently in the news, especially in like conservative media.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I would say that both conservative and I don't even know if like liberal media, but I mean, I would say like both CNN and Fox News, let's say, like they both have their own opinions about it, but I would say neither of them are particularly descriptive of what's actually happening down there.
Okay, man. Mike, I appreciate your time. What's your name?
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Jonah.
Jonah, thanks, man. Is it fine if we decided to like put this, publish this? You okay with that?
Like quote me?
Or just like publish it online?
I mean, I'd prefer not to. I don't really know what your thing is, but I mean, you can use the information that I've told you, but I don't want to be quoted or have my. Thank you so much.
I won't put your name in anything like that.
Right on.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thanks for talking.
Yeah.
Sure, you enjoy that one-on-one interview.
Yeah, that's really cool, David. I'm glad you're able to secure that. You've been making moves for the pod recently, man.
Yeah, man. Just doing my due diligence as a fucking news journalist, bro.
Yeah. We're investigative journalists now, actually.
Pretty much, man.
I need to add that to my Twitter bio.
Yeah, for real. Top of like guru, lover.
Hell yeah.
Fuck.
But yeah, let's just hope that all this chat stuff ends peacefully. It's very interesting. Like we were saying before the interview.
Hopefully it doesn't end, bro.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't. Well, I want to talk about that a little bit more too. Like, even though Chaz wasn't perfect, like I think it's okay that it happened, Like even though it's not like a principled fucking overthrow of the government, like it's totally okay that it happened, and I think it's okay to support it.
Something like this is possible, and
yeah,
like people have the power, and they'll fucking they'll use it, man. Fucking they're few and we are many.
Yes, exactly. It shows that even spontaneously we're able to make progress. So imagine what we can do if we're organized. That's really the message I think Chaz sent. It doesn't need to continue infinitely. It doesn't even need, like, it could end today, and I still think that it was very valuable, the thing that the protesters did by taking over this little section of Seattle. It's very interesting.
I want to get into, do you think, like, there's going to be bloodshed? Do you think they're going to give up, they're going to let Seattle just come in and take back?
I probably, like, I would guess that there's going to be a few people, like stragglers left over, like that are really passionate about it and probably are like you and me, and they actually do have like some kind of ideological connection to it, that will probably stay behind and like, attempt feebly to hold it. But at the end of the day, like, there's only so long that you can exist within like, 6 blocks of a giant metropolitan city, living in your own like autonomous zone. Like, it's not realistic, really. Like, there, with no reasonable way to expand the zone, no reasonable way to negotiate with the government, because they're really not in a position of power at the end of the day. Like,
Yeah, they have
They
no
really have
chips.
nowhere to go. They have nothing to do. Like eventually they're gonna have to give up. And I think that anyone in there that is like still in there and still fighting for this thing, like I don't think that you should feel embarrassed to give up at this point, even because what you've done is already so valuable. And I don't think
Yeah,
there's anything with that.
I'm sure they've inspired many people
Yeah,
as well, and that's also very important.
agree.
I feel like the I feel like people like I don't see like the people who are armed, like, do you think, I feel like they're gonna fucking shoot at the cops, or I feel like it's gonna be bloody if they try
Yeah.
taking Chaz back.
I hope not. I hope that the people inside realize how bad that would look. You know what I mean? Like whether or not you agree with it, like I don't even think it's necessarily evil to do something like that. Like to protect your zone or whatever, especially if you're like actually doing it as a real revolutionary threat to your government. But in this case, because it's such a low threat, like because we pretty much all agree that there's no threat that Chaz is going to grow and envelop anything else. Like it's pretty much isolated to that area. So any like possibility of it expanding is pretty low. I think that like shooting people and trying to hold it any longer than is necessary would look really fucking bad. Like optics would be bad as fuck, even if they were doing it for the most righteous reason.
Yeah.
So I hope that they don't, but we'll see. I mean, I guess this will be where we see where ideology and praxis like meet. Like,
Yeah.
are these people going to decide to be violent and futilely hold this zone, or are they going to give up and go to the next struggle? I don't know. We'll see.
Apparently, businesses or people are suing Seattle because like they're in the Chaz zone and like they're not getting anything that they're like because they're paying taxes and they're not getting any of those benefits because they're in the zone.
Yeah,
So like they're trying to sue. And
that's interesting.
I wonder, like, is anyone gonna get like charged for any of this? Like, do you think people who are like who've been identified, like, all right, you're gonna get a fucking fine of $1,000 because you partaked in this, like,
Right.
in this shit? I don't know.
It would be so difficult to like assign guilt, but I mean they've done it before, so why not?
I
Like,
mean, that rapper, like, they were trying to paint him as the overlord of chess.
yeah, that's so funny to me.
Uh,
So fucking funny.
Warlord.
That's like a conservative meme, really. And I don't know, but that reminds me. Your question about are they going to charge people after the fact reminds me a lot of like protester videos that have been happening recently. Like we know for a fact that police officers have been using video evidence like on streams, on live streams on YouTube, video evidence of protesters using it as justification to arrest them and fine them, ticket them, and stuff like that, even after the fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it was the girlfriend of this Richard guy. I can't remember his last name, or maybe that is his last name. I'm not sure, but he was killed by police. And sorry, I mix up the names. I know it's annoying because there's so many fucking people getting murdered by police lately. But I know that recently Twitter identified the girlfriend of that victim of the police as burning down a building, and the police used the Twitter video to arrest her. So like accidentally, oopsie daisy, Twitter fucking got one of our comrades arrested because they're so obsessed with like posting this shit on Twitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised if I were living in Chaz. I would be fucking gone after that happened. Like if I was one of the people who was doing it, I would be out of there after that happened because I would not put it past police to arrest people after the fact.
So like, all right, it's time to find Caleb and fucking put 2 bullets in him. I mean, yeah, but I don't think we have anything more to talk about Chaz other than stay strong.
Hell yeah, fight the power.
But yeah, let's get into the Tulsa rally. So Trump wanted to host this, huge rally, right? Despite, the current pandemic that is plaguing the nation. And, it was said to be like, oh, it's a sold out. There's going to be a shit ton of people there, fuck coronavirus. But apparently, like, teens on TikTok were making these false signups and making them think that it was actually going to be a large sign than it actually was.
TikTok comrades, bro.
Yeah, bro. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? It's interesting that all of these tickets to the Tulsa rally are getting, picked up at 8 a.m. Moscow time. That's very interesting, David.
Good,
But
man.
hell yeah, I heard about that. Do you think that the TikTok shit, do you think that actually mattered, or was it just not popular? Like,
I mean, I'm sure it definitely had an effect, but like, people were
what were they
signing up.
doing? They were like signing up for multiple, like hundreds of tickets and like lying about going to the event, right?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, so they basically like
Like
sold
fake
it out
emails and
by
shit
doing
like that.
fake tickets, and then
Yeah.
it turned out that only like a few thousand people showed up.
Yeah, and it was like really tiny, and it's like no one's wearing like masks,
Yeah.
like at all, and like apparently two Trump staff like had coronavirus,
Oh,
and
that's
yeah,
yikes.
and it's like dude, why why though? Like it just makes no sense to me. Like Trump never like wears a face mask to to
Yeah.
show that he doesn't fucking care. It makes you think like dude, like this dude really doesn't care like
No,
at
he
all.
really
Like
doesn't.
we're handling this shit like because the way we handle this, I genuinely think that this could last like over a year.
Yeah, multiple years. Yeah, I 100% agree. Don't you like? Wouldn't it be crazy if, because of the way that we responded to this, coronavirus becomes another flu, where
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm
every
thinking. It's
few
just gonna
years it
it's gonna
comes
be
back?
it's gonna be like a flu thing and like
Yeah,
oh man, coronavirus is up and about again.
yeah. Like
Time
we're
for
gonna
your
oopsie
coronavirus
daisy
vaccines.
another fucking yearly 30,000 deaths. You know what I mean? Like unnecessary, insane.
Just
Especially considering
because people don't
countries
want to
like New
mask.
Zealand have 0 cases now. 0 cases. Because they were able to effectively shut the country down and get rid of every case of the coronavirus.
Good. All they have to do is social distance and wear face masks. But there's
Yeah.
a prevalent thing going on with conservatives, conservative Karens, dude, who don't want to wear face masks in
Yeah.
establishments that require face masks, and they're trying to pull off some ADA, American Disability Shout out to
Yes.
discuss my disabilities with you, and
Yeah.
I shouldn't be like,
Yeah, which is total bullshit, by the way. If anyone has seen this Twitter picture floating around of this ADA thing where they're saying I'm not required to wear a face mask, total fucking bullshit. The government has repeatedly reaffirmed the right of private institutions to require people to wear face masks. It is total bullshit that the Americans with Disabilities Act protects you from wearing a mask. That is not true.
and it's not
And
like
if you're a
businesses
service
ever
worker,
fucking cared about ADA
yeah,
anyway.
exactly. The ADA is about accessibility to things. It's about reasonable accommodations. It has nothing to do with masks. It's almost unbelievable to even like bring it up in that case. It's really stupid.
Yeah, but it's so funny. Like I see all these like Karen videos, and like they say all these things so matter of factly.
Yeah.
It's like, doing my extensive Facebook research, I've came to the conclusion that I don't need to wear like a mask in this establishment, and like,
Yeah.
I'm
They're
calling
so
the police.
confident. That's true. Dude, okay, I've never thought about that, but you're right. Every time I see one of those videos, you're right. They're 100% like certain. There's no doubt in their mind.
Yeah, and it makes
like,
me think,
yes.
like, dude, who is feeding these Karen moms this information, dude?
Where are they getting these talking points, and how do they all have the same ones? It's like they're talking to each other, but I know they're not.
Yeah, there's a
so
big
where
fucking
are
Karen
they
group
getting
chat,
this?
dude.
Yeah. It's crazy because they all have the same playbook, and it's all bullshit and wrong, but they somehow all do it. It's crazy to me.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see people starting to sell those ADA cards to fucking Karens, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm sure it's already a thing, bro. They probably have a thing where they're like they're mailing them to each other and hand making them. It's fucking absurd.
Fuck.
Jesus, man.
It's ridiculous, yeah. And Florida, my counties, they're giving away they're giving $500 fines to people who aren't wearing face masks. Face masks are now mandated. You're required to wear face masks if you're like out and about in public.
That's great.
And
yeah.
People who are conservative, they're furious,
yeah.
dude.
I actually saw a video of a sheriff in your state talking about how our all-wise governor decided to mandate masks, and the sheriff went against the governor's order and said to his like people in his area, like, you don't have to wear masks. I'm not going to enforce it. And that was in your state, by the way.
Yeah, Florida is fucking stupid.
It is trash, isn't
The
it,
sun
man?
is
My state
melting.
doesn't mandate shit. We're all
The
just
sun
fucking around like it
melts
doesn't
brains
exist.
here.
It really does, man. Can
Fuck.
fry an egg on the wait, what do they say?
Friday
Shit, I don't
on the
know.
concrete.
Hell yeah, brother.
Arizona,
But
bro.
yeah, man. At least your state's trying something, man. My state isn't doing shit. We're just fully open. We're not even planning on closing down again, even though the cases in my county and my state as a whole are steadily rising. My state is one of the highest cases in the country.
It's the funniest shit. It's like we closed down our schools at 6,000 cases, but we're like,
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna reopen with 65,000.
150,000, yeah. Fucking absurd, right?
It's like, what is the thought process?
That's such a good point. I've never thought about that. Yeah, shit. And yeah, like you were saying about Trump staffers having coronavirus. I heard another really fucking funny thing. Like recently there was an article that came out. Trump staffers in DC complaining that no one will date them as soon as they tell them where they work. Which is fucking hilarious. We need to normalize not fucking Trump voters, dude. Seriously. If you know someone in your life that's a Trump voter, never fuck them ever again.
Yeah, for real. No cap.
No cap, on God. Any fascist you know, that's no pussy, no dick. It's a man and female thing.
Yeah.
We have to normalize that shit. Which I think it's hilarious if you're crying about that shit. First of all, you probably have coronavirus, so I mean, I don't want to fuck you anyway.
They're like, so where do you work? I'm a Trump.
They're like sweating.
Yeah, fuck, dude. I can just imagine it, dude. Fuck, I mean, like, you're supporting like one of the worst presidents we probably ever fucking had ever. Like, where's your morals, dude? Like, where's your moral foundation at?
You have the moral backbone. Oh, I almost said blackbone. Jesus, man. I
got
black on the mind right now. It's ridiculous.
Shit,
yeah.
bro.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wait. There's one more thing I want to talk about. Speaking of black people. Okay. So you know the George Floyd killing, right?
Yes,
of course, everyone knows about that.
Yeah.
There's a recent video. Okay, so one of the cops got out on bail, $750,000 fucking bail. First of all, who paid that? How the fuck does he afford that? I have no idea. And
probably.
So what is the first thing he fucking does? Goes to like a little handy market down the street at his fucking local handy market
instantly
with no face
gets
mask
recognized.
On. Yeah, instantly gets recognized, and the woman like records his video, starts recording, and first thing she asks, of course, what's your name?
Who are you?
And he says, and what does he say? He's like, yeah, I'm that guy.
I'm that guy.
That's me. He doesn't even say his name. He's like, yeah, that's me. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking? Why are you going into public?
It was a good Oreo ad placement.
Yeah, because all he's fucking holding, he's just literally just going to get his little Oreo, his little cookie tweet, so he can relax in his bedroom while he waits for his trial.
Snack, bro.
Yeah, literally his chalky milk and his snack.
Like not even trying to hide it, dude. Not even trying to hide, like, you know, not ashamed, like.
Yeah. Like, look, bro, I'm a red-blooded American. Okay, I'm all about freedom. I'm all about, you know, you should have your day in court, have a free, you know, have a trial of your peers in a fair fucking trial. But at the end of the day, you gotta know how bad it fucking looks for you to just murder a guy on camera, or at least assist in the murdering of a guy on camera. It being one of the most national spotlights in the past fucking like 5 years, and then for you to just stroll to a gas station and buy fucking chalky milk and like and cookies is so absurdly stupid. And I saw a lot of comments defending the guy and basically chastising the woman, being like, oh, so we're just, you know, verbally abusing people in a store. It's like you fucking murdered a guy. Yeah. Like really? Is that where you draw the line? Like, oh, I mean, yeah, it sucks he murdered the guy, but you have no place like verbally abusing him. What a cuck fucking thing to say. Seriously.
Yeah, bro.
Like, you could literally be Hitler himself walking around a Walmart, like, while you're waiting for your trial in The Hague.
Making fun of Nazis now?
Exactly. People be like, oh, we're just verbally abusing Nazis now? It's like, yes, of course we are. Normalize that shit. What are you talking about? I hate this liberal fucking mindset that Americans have, where you're just not allowed to say anything bad about anyone. Doesn't matter what the fuck they do.
Yeah, for real. Dude.
It's the respect economy, dude.
Yeah, man. Dude, speaking about Nazis, man. Fucking statues, bro. I know you wanted to talk about tearing down them statues, dude. So you had a hot take?
Oh, I have a hot take about the Juneteenth holiday.
Oh, the Juneteenth. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Fucking. Anyway, the statues.
But I want to talk about statues too. Hell
Fuck
yeah.
yeah. Fuck, dude. Taking down those Confederate statues.
Yeah.
Fucking love that shit. I don't
Yes.
understand like why. You know, it's like someone made a very good point. I saw a tweet the other day. That's like, so you imagine you're a Jew in Germany and you see a statue of Hitler, and you want it to fucking tear that shit down, like get rid of it. It's like that's like the same shit happening in the United States with the Confederate like statues and like, you know, minorities wanted taking that shit down.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a great analogy because it literally is analogous, and it's like I don't know. The funniest thing about taking the statues down for me was the conservative meltdown on Twitter about the fact that people were not tearing down statues of people like, you know, Lenin, Marx, you know, statues of leftist leaders that people actually like were not getting torn down, and conservatives were like, oh, so we're just tearing down statues of slave owners and, you know, people who lynched black people, but we're not tearing down statues of Lenin. Yes. Okay, I see how it is. As if it's even comparable to the same thing. Real, that was my funniest fucking take, man.
Dude, the one fucking monument that we still need to tear down is that one Robert E. Lee. Is it Robert E. Lee? In the stone monument in the mountain.
Oh, Mount Rushmore?
No, not Mount Rushmore. In I think it's in Georgia. There's like a mountain with like a Confederate like a scene like carved into it.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that. What the hell? Yeah. Dude, they could just blow the whole thing up with dynamite.
I've been there.
Oh, wow. I've never been there. That's actually pretty sick. If it wasn't a fucking Confederate monument.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that either. Like, I didn't know where the fuck we were going, but apparently we're just going to Georgia to, like, on a road trip, essentially. I think we were going to this cave, and it was, like, on the way, so we checked it out. Never seen, like, a fucking mountain in, like, the United States. I think that was, like, my first fucking, like, mountain that I've ever been, like, because you can get on top of it.
Yeah.
Fuck, you blow that shit up, dude. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Just drop a grenade in it.
Yeah,
hell yeah, man. I don't give a fuck. And,
it's
like, honestly,
it's huge,
all the people crying about monuments, like, okay. Also, I wanted to address this take about the fucking monuments in the museum thing. Like, people are saying, oh, monuments should belong in museums. Yes, of course, that's fine. Put monuments in museums. But, like, even then, ask yourself, like, because recently they took down a monument that was in a museum, and conservatives started crying, and they're like, oh, so now even museums aren't sacred. Like, we can't even talk about history. They're trying to wipe our history away. Safe? Yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, it's not necessarily just about the monument. It's about the context surrounding it. Like, if it is a monument in the, like, that exists to glorify the person and put them on this pedestal and literally show them as a hero, it's like, yeah, it probably should be taken down because it's inaccurate. It's not about us wanting to erase history. It's about us wanting to correct history. We know now that was wrong, and those people are villains, not heroes. So it's okay to take it down and replace it with something that accurately portrays what they were, in my opinion. You know, even if it's in a museum, doesn't fucking matter. Museums are supposed to be true.
Yeah, it's so like dumb that like conservatives like have this stance because like they're, you know, because they're like, oh man, I fucking love America, but then it's like, then why do you why do you support this when like Confederates were like a direct enemy, you know, to like what the United States like stood for.
Right, exactly. And you know, they don't want to say the quiet part out loud. The quiet part is that they would have rather the Confederacy won and in the United States be, you know, the South now.
The South will rise again.
Exactly. And it's like, I just don't understand people's need to be secret about it. Like, it's okay to be openly Nazi these days. I really pisses me off that people still lie about racist. Yeah. Right, exactly. Like, you don't need to lie anymore. It's okay for you to come out of the darkness and face us as what you are. You don't need to pretend to be a classical liberal anymore. Right, exactly. That's all I ask, honestly. All I ask of fascists, I don't even ask you to change. Yeah. Just be clear about your beliefs.
Just identify yourself so we can fucking find you.
Exactly.
When the time comes.
Exactly. Leave no ambiguity. I don't want to conduct a trial.
Bro. Trials? Things of the past.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
But speaking of hot takes and, you know, racist things, okay, I want to talk about this holiday, Juneteenth. Okay, yeah, obviously it's past, but the holiday if for anyone who doesn't know, like I didn't either. I literally have never heard of this thing until this year. And I guess because, the political climate of things going on, people want to celebrate Black culture more, which I totally agree with and I think is a great thing.
Mhm.
However, this holiday Juneteenth is kind of interesting to me because it's celebrating the day on which the final slave was freed. So, like, of course, after the constitutional amendment freeing the slaves passed,
But Caleb,
they weren't
we still
immediately
are
free.
slaves. We were never
Exactly.
free.
Yeah, like after they freed the slaves weren't immediately freed. There was like a period of time over which they were freed. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Juneteenth is the day on which the last one. But I find it very interesting as a Black American to celebrate that day. To me, it seems very stupid because why would you celebrate just because you're not a slave anymore does not mean you're like a citizen just like the rest of us. You know what I mean? And I almost feel like celebrating Juneteenth is very patronizing, not only to Black people, but just to like previous slaves. You know what I mean? Just like just celebrating being free is so absurdly short-sighted in my opinion, and it's not really what I think is the message of the Black Lives Matter movement or like current day anti-racist movement. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because when we freed the slaves, we subjected them to a life as a second-class citizen. Just because they were free did not mean that they were free from the chains that we put on them as a society. Just because they're not physical chains does not mean that they weren't enslaved. And I think it's really stupid to celebrate it. I think even poor people that aren't Black should like have this same view. You know what I mean? Like we should not be celebrating, things like Labor Day. You know what I mean? Because like it's so patronizing to labor in the same way that I think Juneteenth is patronizing to Black people. That's my hot take. I'm curious what your opinion is.
I saw our subscriber count just go down by 10.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't want
While
to
you're
tell Black
speaking.
people like don't celebrate it. Like if you feel like it makes you happy and it empowers you, like that's the point of holidays celebrating Black culture.
Yeah.
And I think that it's fine to celebrate it. But in my opinion, I think like there should be better holidays for Black people. Like we don't need to celebrate the day that the final slave was freed because there should never have been slaves. Let's celebrate the good things about Black culture and the good things that Black people have contributed to the human race, rather than celebrating the day that finally white people allowed them to exist without being slaves. You know what I mean?
And I mean, they're still like, yeah, I mean, I guess they were freed from their chains, but there was still like slaves had nowhere to go, and like,
Yeah,
there was generations of slaves that were born on these, on these plantations. So like they had nowhere
right.
to go, so they decided to stay.
Exactly. Well, it's not a decision. That's my point, is that it wasn't a decision. They were forced to do this. Just because they weren't free doesn't mean they freely chose to do this. They had to. They had no choice because they were poor. They had no land. They had no belongings of their own except the clothes that they were wearing when they were free, basically, and maybe anything that their masters deigned to give them. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. It's very short-sighted in my opinion, and I think it's antithetical to the message of the Black Lives Matter movement as well, because I think the point of Black Lives Matter is to point out that in fact racial injustice has never gone away, and we're still feeling the effects of slavery today as Black people in America in 2020. We're still feeling the effects of slavery, and I almost feel as though celebrating Juneteenth kind of is antithetical to that message, because you're almost saying like, oh, slavery's over, when really what we're saying is slavery never ended. It just took a different form. You know what I mean? I don't know. I hope I made sense enough not to get canceled.
I mean, I totally understand what you're trying to say, but I think,
Yeah.
like you said, it's, I think it's always good to like just celebrate like these things anyway.
Yeah.
Like even
Yeah.
though that like it's not really over, like I think it's still important to like celebrate these holidays and to like say like to make sure like fucking something like this never happens again, and like maybe more shit gets done about it when people like they talk more about Juneteenth, right? Because like you said, you never even knew Juneteenth was a holiday
Yeah.
until recently. It's like
Right.
let's get the conversation rolling.
That's true. That's a great point. Yeah. Like I had no idea what it was. I'd never heard of it. And I think you're 100% right. And like honestly, like if black people never celebrated the small victories that they have had, what would they have to celebrate? Yeah, like you know what I mean? Because we've literally had them under our boot for so long that
Mm.
I feel like they almost have to celebrate those small victories anyway,
Oh, yeah,
which
man.
is sad to say, but I think
Like
you're right.
Chaz, it may not happen, but it's definitely a small victory
Yeah,
for
exactly.
revolutionaries.
100%.
Chaz Holiday incoming? Who knows?
That would be awesome.
Fuck. But yeah, I think we should head into discussion of Biden's VP. I want to talk about Biden's VP. So I think it's very important on who Biden picks for his VP because
Why is that?
because if Biden does win in November, he's probably not going to run again, and that means the best, like the next person who's going to be like a good contender for the Dem nomination will be Biden's VP. So probably
Okay.
whoever's the VP, whoever Biden chooses VP, they have a good chance of becoming like the Dem nom
In
next,
2024.
Yeah, 2024.
Right. That's a good point. I've actually not really thought that much about it. Do you have any like people in mind of who you think it might be?
Kamala Harris.
Yeah. I think that Kamala Harris is a really good potential option. Yeah. I think it's going to be Stacey Abrams. And I want to say this on the podcast because I think that it's going to be her and I want to be correct. If you Google search Stacey Abrams, she's like the perfect lib fucking person to be, you know, the
VP.
she's a woman, she's a person of color, she's a lib. She's not very like progressive in her
Yeah.
ideas.
I
So
think
I think
both.
that
I
would
think
be a safe
Sanders
option.
and Biden both said they wanted a POC woman.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, I think that Biden said he at least wanted a woman, but I don't think he said whether or not that they would be a person of color. So, but I mean, I don't know. Does it trigger you when presidential candidates say things like "I want a woman" as a vice president? Does that like trigger you or
No,
rub you the wrong way at all?
not really.
Okay, it kind
I
of rubs me the wrong way. I'm not
really.
gonna lie. Yeah, because
Why?
like it almost makes it seem like you're picking a woman just because she has a vagina and not because like you value a woman's ability to help you. You know what I mean?
I mean, they're probably like that's the silent part, right? But I think
Yeah.
it's very like I'm glad that like they're picking POC women in these like positions because I think I said on like, the last podcast how important it is to have diversity. And,
Yeah.
in companies and governments, it's like you need these perspectives
Yeah.
because then
Representation.
that's why white privilege exists because we have so many fucking white people in the government. And it's only good for the white people because
Right.
that's fucking. They're like, all right, that's my community.
So you're basically saying that even though Biden's doing it because he's a weird cuck that just
Yeah.
wants to pick a woman, the ultimate effect is actually still positive because as a result, more women get to lead.
Yes.
I think I agree with that. I don't know. I think that is the only upside with like the lib inclusivity, like diversity fucking mindset where they're just like, yeah, you can abuse black people as long as half of your representatives are women. You know what I mean? Like, I think that actually is kind of one of the benefits of that mindset is that even though nothing gets done that's positive, at least more women and black people have the ability to make positive change as a result.
Sure. And yeah, it's very like we might be seeing Stacey Abrams running in 2024 if she does get the VP from Biden.
Yeah, I hope not, man. I mean, like, I have nothing against her, I guess, but she's just such a, like, tepid,
Centrist.
non-reformist person. Yeah, centrist, basically. And, like, I have no energy for her. I don't, like, hate
I
her or
mean, I
anything.
think it's good that Biden's picking a centrist since he's so far left. He needs to pull the centrist vote, really.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, man. Jeez, I almost spit my drink out there. Jeez, man.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, but I think
Mhm.
the only person we know that it's not going to be is Amy Klobuchar,
Mhm.
right? Because she said specifically, "I will not be the VP,"
Too
which
much
it would be
drama going
very
on with
funny if
Amy,
she
dude, in
was.
Minnesota, man.
Yeah, Minnesota, nice man. She like I love how Minnesota is known for having nice people, and then Amy Klobuchar was literally known for like abusing the shit out of her staff.
Oh, dude,
Like,
she loves the cops too right now, or she like fucking
yeah,
is fucking loves the cops as well.
she loves the
Doesn't look
cops, and
good.
she loves this thing that she loves the second most is throwing things at her staff.
Oh yeah, for real, dude. I mean, dude, I bet you Amy was fucking mauling when when like all this when the George Floyd riots like broke out and like there was like massive riots in Minneapolis. She
Yeah.
was like, "Fuck, I'm not gonna get that VP." Like, did all that shit, on stage, made all those deals. Okay, let's talk about Kentucky, dude.
Yes. Let's talk about
Booker,
Kentucky.
Booker, as of what time is it? It is 2:14 p.m. right now, and he's did he win or is he leading?
He's leading, but it looks like he's gonna win. I've seen that he has more than an 80% chance of winning, so it seems like he's gonna win. Which means that he will face Mitch McConnell in November, potentially ousting the longtime conservative
35 years,
minority,
dude,
majority leader. Is that how long he's been?
Yeah, 35 years.
Are you fucking serious?
No,
That's
35
insane.
years. He has literally
God.
been in Senate for over 325 years.
325 years?
Yeah,
crazy. Wow. Okay, but that's very interesting because Charles Booker was the one. He was like the Amy McGrath was the other Democrat running against him in the primary, and Charles Booker is the one that's more like in line with what David and I would agree with. Like, I don't think he's a socialist, but like he's for the Green Deal. He's for Medicare for all.
He's sponsored by Bernie. Yeah, Bernie gave him the okay.
He's definitely tangential to Bernie. I would say he's not as extreme as Bernie. Not that Bernie's extreme, but Charles Booker's a little more, but it's Kentucky, so what are you going to do? And he was running against Amy McGrath, and I want to talk about her a little bit because she's very interesting. This is a very interesting case study in Kentucky politics, I think, because it was very close. It's a very close race. We're talking about it like he's going to win, which obviously we don't know because we're recording while it's still going on. But assuming that he does win, it would be very sad for Amy because she raised $41 million for running against him. She's ran as a pro-Trump Democrat, ex-military member who has like been in combat and basically like the perfect American to run for Kentucky. You know what I mean?
Mitch.
Yeah, against Mitch McConnell on a year where Democrats are probably going to have a blue wave. Like, it's the perfect storm for her to get elected. And she still fucked it up and lost to a black Democrat in Kentucky. Yeah, $41 million. Yeah, and not only that, but let's talk a little bit about Kentucky.
Where'd she spend all that fucking money? Because I've never
apparently
heard
fucking
of her,
nowhere.
I've never fucking known of her, dude.
Literally, I saw like
she's
maybe
like,
one ad about
me, half for you,
half for the campaign. That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, fuck, I didn't see anything, but I mean, we're not Kentucky residents, so maybe who knows? Maybe she
we
maybe she did well there.
Kentucky resident.
And I mean, it was a close race, so she at least got close. But I think someone in Discord and I were talking. I don't know if this was you, but I think the thing that sunk her, ironically, is that she's a woman. I really think that that's what did it. Like, because she had such a successful campaign financing run. She was very well liked by people. She was pro-Trump, which in Kentucky is fucking huge. But I think her being a woman is really what lost her this race, which is very fucking ironic and hilarious to me, considering she's a pro-Trump Democrat. So I don't know. I mean, it's impossible to say for sure, but what do you think? Maybe like how does a pro-Trump Democrat with $41 million lose to a black person in a conservative state in a place where there was one polling location for 600,000 voters to vote at on one day? There was one polling location. How do you lose to that?
Legitimate voter suppression happening.
Yeah, unbelievable. They closed over 90% of polling locations in Kentucky were closed for this race.
Yeah, I mean,
and
it's
disproportionately in low-income areas, in areas where people of color live.
I mean, it's showing you like people are coming out and they want change.
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
In Kentucky, where like,
did you see the videos of people like standing outside the voting area, like slamming the doors down?
Let me fucking in! fine.
Yeah,
Yes,
they were literally
dude.
slamming on the door. It was like the thing. It was like that meme a long time ago where the guy wanted to go into the mall, like, and they wouldn't fucking let him in. It was exactly like that, but people were trying to vote. It
Yeah,
was
bro.
insane.
I
And
hope.
of course, like we see conservatives on Twitter saying like, "Oh, they just need to stand in line and be fucking civil." You know what I mean? Like the same libs that are saying, uh, "Oh, if you want to make changes, go vote." What the fuck am I supposed to do if they won't even let me do that? You know what I mean? Am I allowed
Yeah,
to
for
get
real.
violent then? Like, how many polling locations do they have to close before I'm allowed to burn a fucking Wendy's down? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's ridiculous. And even against all those odds, the guy still won, which is incredible.
Or is looking to win at least.
Or yeah. Hopefully he wins. If he doesn't win, I'm gonna look like a fucking idiot now. But
Yeah.
whatever. I'll take it on the chin.
Yeah, it's insane. What do you think his chances are against Mitch McConnell?
I think they're pretty good. I think in a normal year, a black man running in Kentucky against an incumbent would have no chance. But considering that Trump is the most unpopular president of all time and Biden is actually doing pretty well in polls, like I think it's not unlikely that he could win it. Yeah, which would be great. I mean, like obviously I don't care for Biden as president, but I'm still going to be voting in November. I'm not going to be voting for Biden, but I will be voting for all the Democrats down the ballot because I think it's important that even if Trump wins, which I don't give a shit if he wins. If he wins, I literally don't care. But I don't want him to be able to pass any legislation if he does win. So I will be voting for all of the Democrats when I vote in November, but I will not be voting for Biden. So I hope that Booker wins. Wait, did I say Booker? Yeah, I said Booker. Okay, we're good.
Yep.
I hope Booker wins, and
Yep.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully. Good luck, Charles Booker. If you're listening to this podcast, we believe in you.
Hell yeah, we believe in you.
Fuck, but okay, so let's talk about this is gonna be we're gonna fucking speed topics right now. Dead people stimulus checks. Fuck, dude, isn't it surprising that a dead person got a stimulus check before you did?
Hell yeah, it's very surprising. They can't send me fucking money, but they can send literally people have been dead for 30 years, $1.4 billion. Pretty fucking cool, man.
What are they gonna do? Are they just gonna
Apparently nothing.
like what? So like, there's just like American stimulus check gold sitting somewhere.
Yeah, there's just $1.4 billion in checks just sitting in mail. Like sitting in the fucking USPS office uncashed.
Some like USP fucking driver just like threw the check like at like an empty fucking like vacant lot.
Just lay it down on a gravestone.
Yeah, fuck. That's
Thank you
insane.
for your service, American.
I can't believe that happened.
Yeah,
Fucking,
slide some of that my way, man.
yeah,
Shit.
for real. I'm about to find some of that stimulus check gold.
Hell yeah, man.
And
Speed topic, go.
Yeah, let's hit Supreme Court rules asylum seeker cannot challenge removal.
Yeah.
Basically
So
allowing
big,
Trump to just remove people.
Yes, big fucking thing. And okay, you're gonna hear like let me preempt go ahead and educate some of our listeners.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm gonna preemptively tell you what conservatives are going to say to you when you have to argue in defense of this, because this is very indefensible, reprehensible shit that the Supreme Court just did. And by the way, Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Bayer, I don't know how to fucking pronounce it. Both of them, who are ostensibly liberal judges, both voted with the conservatives to allow the government to not allow asylum seekers to, appeal their asylum seeking status. So basically what that means is if you come to this country seeking asylum, our conservative government can turn you away. And if you truly believe you are an asylum seeker who rightfully should be allowed in the country, you are not allowed to appeal that, which means that you're stranded and you're just left to rot basically and die, because we are a fascist country that does not like immigrants and we're racist. That's the reason that they did it. Don't let anyone pretend otherwise. And let me preemptively tell you what conservatives are going to say now. They're going to say, well, if they're coming, we screen them and test them, and if we decide they're bad, we turn them away. Why should we waste more money on letting them appeal when we already screen them and we know they're bad? But that's really stupid, and anyone who says that should be fucking smacked in the face, because it takes months to apply for like seeking asylum. You get locked up at the border. They do not give you proper legal representation. These people are poor, destitute people, not fucking lawyers coming over the border. They have no idea what to do. The process is very
And
unfairly
they can barely
slow.
speak English as well.
Exactly, and a lot of them don't speak English, so they have no idea what the fuck's going on in a foreign nation where we're all conspiring to send them home and send them
where
away.
the
They don't have a
American
home.
dream is like, the American dream is like, oh, you can come from anybody, you can be of
Yeah.
any race, any skin color, any gender, and
Yes.
still be able to make it in America, and like that's
Right.
what they believe in, like, oh my God, if I go to America, I can save my family, I can help them out in Mexico, right? And
Yeah.
they come to the country and they have weapons pointed at them, telling them to get on the fucking ground.
Exactly. They're arrested, put in a cage like an animal, fed shitty slop with no air conditioning, poor ventilation. There's literally COVID spreading through fucking border prisons like the plague through Europe in the fucking 1300s. Like, we do not treat these people like human beings. And the liberal fucking judges just voted for us to just send them away to die with no appeal. It's absurd and animalistic to do such a thing. Sorry, go ahead.
We send people away who are actually citizens like all the time.
Yeah, we do, right? So anyone who uses this screening as a justification, they can't tell their own fucking shadow from an asylum seeker. They have no idea what the fuck they're doing. It's insane. Have you heard of the? Did you ever see that Reddit thread where the guy like accidentally drove to Canada? Like, there's this road I think it's in Michigan, where basically it connects to Canada, and like if you take an on ramp, oopsie daisy, you can accidentally drive into Canada. And he basically like drove in there, and they like he had no passport or any documentation or anything, so they took him in at the border and basically just sent him back. Like basically saying, don't be a dumbass and come to Canada on accident again, and then just sent him home. Like, imagine trying to do that on the southern border as like a brown person. Imagine like accidentally driving.
There's no roads accidentally going into the United States.
Okay, fair enough, but still, like, let's just say you did. How do you think that interaction would go for you? I don't think it would go so peacefully as it did on the northern side.
They're like, all right, apply the tire spikes.
Yeah,
moving in with artillery.
Mortar fire away.
Suppressing fire.
There are American citizens that go to the border and just kill people that are brown in the desert because they think that they're immigrants. Like, sometimes people will just go down there. I was reading this story earlier today of a father and son team that goes to the southern border. Like, this is like a vacation for them. They go to the southern border and they just shoot at people that try to cross. It's fucking insane, and like
no
there's this one. Yes, crazy. They do, and there's this one.
I bet you they
the
killed
reason
people.
That this article they did. That was the thing. The article said like this is the first time they'd ever killed anyone, and basically they saw this like brown person just crossing, and they just killed him for no fucking reason, and then they called the police, and the police came, and neither of those people got in any trouble. What? And I'm like, it's insane. It's so insane. So yeah, I don't know. It's very
so fucking crazy, dude.
On the bright side, though, the Supreme Court also said that LGBT people like can't be discriminated against at work, which is pretty interesting. Yeah. So that was a good thing that happened.
That's
just
a W.
To kind of have a bright side moment for that.
Oh, fuck. I mean, God, dude, the news are so depressing. It's not funny at all. There's nothing that every day I look at the news and my dopamine levels just like it just spikes down. But
yeah,
dude, on
some insulin,
I want to talk about the most funniest shit I've ever heard. This is some I don't want to say good news, but it's funny as fuck at least. But someone on if you know what the Twitch platform is, it's a streaming service where people stream video games. People stream themselves like doing podcasts, so there's live podcasts as well, and there's just chatting, which is just people on webcam talking, right? And this guy is the biggest. He's the biggest coomer. If you don't know what a coomer is a person who's a sexual deviant, basically.
Yeah. Yes, I squeezed my hog to this.
Yes, and basically he's suing Twitch for $25 million because of a select few of female streamers who are a little too sexual for him, that he can't help himself but to come all over his monitors.
Yeah, his keyboard and desk are covered with cum.
Yeah,
It's
he said he was
just
following
cum
like
everywhere.
825 like female streamers and no
Literally.
men. Like
He's drained of cum. It's amazing, David. Have you ever been to this eponymous mystical website known as Twitch and seen
dude,
any
yes,
beautiful women?
I mean, I've seen women on Twitch, yeah. But like I see a woman like, oh, Pokimane, and then like I fucking jizz my pants.
Yeah.
And apparently this guy's
so
like a
absurd.
sexual like addict or something like that. Is
Yeah.
he's trying to claim, and he just can't help himself, dude. He's like, gotta take his cock out.
Yeah. It's so fucking funny to me. Like it's such an atomized culture, man. Like this whole Twitch streaming culture. Like his Twitch account is following 820 female streamers, like no male streamers. Like how like it's so I don't know, man. It's just so weird. And like people on Twitch, like I love the subreddit live stream fails because it's just this weird cultural microcosm of like virgin nerds who all hate women for some reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they love.
It does not surprise me
bro.
that this guy is suing Twitch at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm surprised about is like that he's coming to these women, right? Because he can't help himself, but he's like, you know what? Not only am I gonna come to these women, but I'm also gonna sue them because they made me come to them.
Like, what's the alternative? Like, I don't get it. Is it such a bad thing?
Just close the tab, bro.
Like, if you're
Watch
coming
Facebook
constantly,
gaming.
like, is your dick like so raw that you're just like in pain 24/7 and you need like medical assistance? I don't get it. Like,
$25 million.
yeah, like where's the money? Like, where's these damages? I don't understand how that's reasonable.
I don't know.
And like if Pokimane is streaming, just turn your goddamn monitor off. Like, I don't understand. Like
he has like the push notifications, like email, like the Pokimane just went live, and he like fucking opens it up quickly, dude.
It's so fucking weird because like if you're a woman on Twitch, like, and you're not doing any sexual content, like, and you're not sexualizing yourself at all, and you're just playing video games like any other streamer, not sexualizing yourself, I don't think that Twitch people understand how fucking weird it is to just constantly sexualize women like that. You know what I mean?
It's so and it's like it's a very gamer thing. Like I was
it is.
With my like female friends the other day, and like we were playing Valorant, and like this dude wouldn't just like. He wouldn't stop like trying to get her to talk. Like it's like they've never like interacted with a woman in like in a game, I guess, like ever in their entire life. And it's like that. Like I couldn't imagine being a female gamer in today's fucking climate.
Just like, getting constantly harassed. And it's like it's not even like it's not even sometimes it's not even overtly sexual things like you're talking about. Like, it's just getting them to talk. It's like why? What is wrong with you?
Yeah, it's like, oh dude, it's like, bro, stop, man.
Yeah, it's just so cringe, and like I get the feeling that a lot of people don't really realize how cringe it is. Like I guess because they're kids maybe, or they're just poorly socialized, like they don't talk to people in real life a lot, or maybe because it's anonymous, they feel like they're not really beholden to like social standards. But like if you're a person that is a gamer, and you kind of maybe feel like I'm describing you right now.
Stop.
Like no hate. Like you're just a normal person. I understand. I probably was like that one day.
I know you're curious. I know you're curious about women. You know, you might have never seen one in real life. You might have never, touched a boob, or you might never kissed a girl. But trust me, I mean,
there's nothing wrong with that. First of all,
as normal as me and you, man.
Exactly. Put yourself in their shoes for a second and imagine like what this constant abuse would feel like. Like, okay, yeah, maybe none of them ever want to touch your penis or whatever, but I promise, like, if you're just a normal person, like, someone's gonna touch your penis eventually. I promise. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. Yeah.
Eventually, like, your cock will be touched.
Exactly. And like, and in the meanwhile, touch it yourself, but not so much that you feel the need to fucking sue Twitch for $25 million.
File a fucking lawsuit for $25 million. Holy shit, dude. I wonder if anything's actually going to come of this.
No, I mean, it's such a frivolous
Twitch is
lawsuit.
Crack down on their women, on their top, producers on their website? Like,
nah, of course not.
I mean, the argument he's trying to make is he was trying to seem like, Twitch is like a soft core porn site.
Yeah. But I still don't understand how that makes him a victim though. Like, what is the argument that they have done damage?
He had to click. He saw these thumbnails of these women.
Who forced him to click on Pokimane?
He had to click it, bro. And then Pokimane. Oh no, Pokimane! Stop taking my dick out of my pants. Oh no, stop! Oh no, I'm
stop
coming.
Playing Terraria. I'm coming, Pokimane. Like it's just so cringe, dude. Fuck, man.
Fuck, man. But that is Twitch.tv.
Left in the South podcast.
They were able to get Mixer shut down. I don't know if you heard that.
Oh yeah, Mixer gone.
Yeah, Mixer is gone.
Shroud secured the bag, bro.
Yeah, he secured the bag. But that's other gamer news. I don't know if we have time for that. Our producer's telling you to cut it short. So
yeah, Jamie.
Yeah. Fuck. But anyway, episode 26 of the Left and South podcast. It's been a banger. It's very a lot of a lot of topics that we covered this week, and we're excited for the next week.
Very special episode coming next week. Stay tuned.
UFOs maybe as well. So who knows?
Yes.
Anyway, episode 26 of the Left and South podcast. Bye.
Bye.